In this tutorial, we will learn how to use the Xpand2 virtual instrument plugin. We will learn how to preview patches, select a patch, edit the patch, and save the settings with our session. So right now, I have a track called Perk, an instrument track, which is going to contain the Xpand2 module. So let's look at the top here. I've got an instantiation of Xpand2, and also notice that the MIDI from this instrument track is being sent to that module. The sound is returning through the insert. I could also separate this with a MIDI track, have the MIDI track send to Xpand2, and have the audio return in an auxiliary or another instrument track. What I'm hoping to do is take this Pink Floyd excerpt and mimic the little blip blip sound that begins the excerpt. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, I've already entered some MIDI notes here, and I've tried to approximate the pitch of that little blip blip sound. Let's hear what I came up with. This is on just a generic piano sound. Okay, so it's nothing like the original, except in rhythm and pitch. All right, let's open the Xpand2 virtual instrument and take an overview. All right, let's just kind of scan the window and look at what the different sections are. Up at the top, this is the patch that's chosen right now, or the track that it's inserted in the module. Notice this here, this is the MIDI node. This means whenever you open a MIDI out port on a MIDI track or instrument track, you can choose this particular instrument as the destination for your MIDI instructions. Here's the preset, and here's some other librarian things we'll use to choose our plugin setting. This is the automation section if we want to automate a parameter. And down here, we have our 4 synthesizer sections. So it's a 4-part multi-timbral synthesizer. Each of these parts could be triggered by a different MIDI channel. So you could have 4 different MIDI tracks all triggering this module with 4 different sounds. Or you could have 4 sounds layered all on one MIDI channel. Right now we've got just one activated. We activate it here. We can actually deactivate all of these. And we have an acoustic piano sound here. Now notice at the top there's a part that says Smart Knobs. And if I click through the different parts, you notice they're blank, and notice the parts below are highlighting. When I get to A, it shows me some of the parameters I can edit for this particular patch. If I go to Easy, it shows me some additional parameters having to do with the envelope of the sound. So for each patch you choose, there's a unique set of editors you can use up here. Additionally, there's editing the level, the panning of the patch, the addition of effects, which are done down here at the bottom. You can add reverb and echo effects. And here's some information about the keyboard tracking and how it reacts to the keyboard. Okay, so let's get to getting a sound that sounds closer to the Pink Floyd blip blip sound. So I'm going to switch over to the percussive section, since that's kind of a percussive synthesized sound. I'll choose the top one, and we'll notice it sounds nothing like it. Okay, and I'm also going to hide this for a moment. And we'll work a little with the mixer here so we can sort of fade one sound in and out. That way we can preview if it sounds anything like the original. Okay, a very useful function and a quick preview function is to open the patch list for this section. When you open this little double square, you get a list of all the patches in that folder. And by folder, I mean lists of presets. Each one of these is a folder, and within each folder is a number of patches. So once you've selected the folder, you can show the patch list. This way you can quickly go through, choose patches, but even cooler than that is you can have it choose patches automatically, so you can do a preview of all the patches in a row. So I'm going to set up my track to loop playback. Hold down the control key, press the play button, it's in loop playback mode, and I'll make a selection of a couple bars here so we can just hear it preview over and over, like that. Okay, back to my synth. Go to this window. Let's change this to a little bit longer, and once I hit increment, you'll see what happens. So we're hearing different patches. Some of them are closer. Maybe that plucked wood is kind of a close sound. Okay, so as it's cycling through those patches, there may be a delay as the patch loads, but you get the general idea about the preview. Okay, back to that window, and let's see what we've got. I think the percussive sine is going to be pretty close, since the source synthesizer for the Pink Floyd example was a very simple synthesizer, probably used a sine wave to drive the sound. Okay, let's see how this sounds in there. Not too bad. Let's bring the mix window up. Okay, there's a couple things in here. There's a little tick sound that we probably want to get rid of, that high pitched, and the tone of it is a little bit low. So let's see if we can fix both of those things. This is where we'll get into the editing. So I see I have this one part. I don't need the other parts. And I'm going to, for the time being, also turn off all the effects, so it's totally dry. Might be nice to change the duration of those notes as well. Let's go back real quick and do that. Do a real quick change here. That's a little better. Okay, so I can look at the editable parameters by hitting the easy button, and part A, since my sound is on part A, let's bring the level up too. Okay, I'm going to start by working on that noise, getting that noise sound off. So let's try the noise volume, see what happens. Okay, we might want a little bit of that tick, but let's make it faster. Okay, getting closer. Okay, so we can leave a little noise in for the attack. Okay. Now let's look at the filter for the sine wave. So this will say what frequencies are allowed through. See how it's starting to sound muted, and also the noise can be muted. Okay, and let's see about the pitch. Maybe we can turn the pitch up. we're getting kind of close. Still has a little more of a pitch than the original, but it's really close. Let's hear everything together. And I'll make a selection so it's a little easier to see. And easier to preview. That helps a lot. Just get a little of the sign out of there. Let's mute the original. Okay, that's getting close. If I spent more time, I could probably get even closer. But let's say that we're good to go with this. I'll go ahead and save my preset. Now, where you save the preset is really important. You could save it on the root folder, which is on the computer in the system, or you could save it with your session folder. If you save it in the root folder, when you copy your session folder onto your flash drive and move it to another computer, you may lose this patch. So you always want to save this to your session folder so that you can transport it to other computers. So to do that, you go to this little arrow box at the top, and it says Save Settings As. Make sure you choose Save Settings As, not Save Settings, or Save Settings will automatically go to the root folder. Save Settings As. And you want to find your session folder. Here's mine. And for every plugin that you insert, Pro Tools will automatically make a folder for it in the plugin settings folder. So I'll go there. And here's my Xpand2 folder. And I can give it a name. Save. And now its name is up here. If I want to call it back up, I can actually go to this list and find it under the session settings folder. So that's how you do it. Let's hear it one last time with the original.